Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, March 25th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. The Norwood Police announced on Monday that Ernest Payne, the alleged shooter in a homicide this past September in Norwood, was arrested last week in Florida. Payne and his accomplice, Anthony Loper-Feaster, were identified by NPD detectives and state police members assigned to D.A. Morrissey's office within days of the murder. Loper-Feaster turned himself in the weeks following the murder. Payne has been on the run since the night of the shooting. The investigation leading to his arrest involved the U.S. Marshals, the Massachusetts State Police Violent Fugitive Apprehension Section, and State Police CPAC, as well as the NPD Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Chief Brooks has more.
I'm here to talk a little bit about the recent arrest of Ernest Payne, who was arrested in Florida following a lengthy investigation tied to a homicide that occurred right behind me here on Sturtevant Avenue. The gentleman murdered was Shaquem Lewis Johnson. He was murdered on September 19th, 2021 at about 5:15 in the evening. He was shot multiple times right here on the street by a subject who escaped in a car with a driver. Within a short period of time, detectives of the Norwood Police Department and state police working out of the office of District Attorney Michael Morrissey identified two suspects in the case and obtained warrants for their arrest. A gentleman named Mr. Loper-Feaster turned himself in shortly thereafter, but Ernest Payne was more elusive and more difficult for us to capture. We believe that he left the state within days of the homicide and moved about the country following that. Now, our investigation in an attempt to capture him involved detectives of the Norwood Police Department, particularly Lieutenant Chris Flanagan and Detective Paul Ryan. And they received administrative support and assistance from Jenna McCarthy, who is assigned to the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. They work very closely with the Violent Fugitive Apprehension Section of the Massachusetts State Police and partnered with the U.S. Marshals Service because we believe that Mr. Payne has spent most of the last several months outside Massachusetts. He was recently arrested in Miami, again based on information that was obtained through an investigation by the three agencies I just talked about. U.S. Marshals went to a home in Miami, Florida, and captured him and placed him under arrest. As I report this today on Friday, Lieutenant Flanagan and two troopers from the state police from the Norfolk District Attorney's Office are at Miami Airport and are boarding a flight to bring Mr. Payne back to Massachusetts. On Monday morning, he'll be arraigned on the charge of murder and will eventually face trial for that charge. So this is an important point that in time now that we have both the suspects in custody. They are the only two that the investigation has identified. And we expect Mr. Payne to be arraigned Monday morning. I'm very pleased with the work of the members of the Norwood Police Department and really appreciate the partnership and hard work by our partners with the U.S. Marshals Service and the Massachusetts State Police, both at the District Attorney's Office and the Violent Fugitive Apprehension Section.
Follow the Norwood Police Department on social media for all public safety information. Monday night, the League of Women Voters hosted their annual candidates forum prior to the town election on April 4th. There are two contested races in this year's election for seats on the Board of Selectmen and on the school committee. All the candidates running in the two races joined the forum and answered questions presented by the moderator. The candidates running for the two seats on the school committee are Joan Giblin, Michael Condon, Kathleen Sibbing-Dunn, Tyler Torville, and Mark Hooley. The candidates for the two seats on the Selectmen are Alan Howard, Robert Donnelly, and Amanda Groh. To end the forum, League President Sarah Cullen had a few reminders for viewers who are watching at home.
The municipal election will take place Monday, April 4th. Polls will be open from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at your district's polling place that day. There is still time to request an absentee ballot, and one can be requested through the town clerk's website by calling the town clerk's office at 781-762-1240 at extension 6029, or by emailing the league at lwvnorwoodma@gmail.com. In addition to the races for town-wide office, there will be two additional important sections on your ballot. a ballot question regarding funding the new middle school project on the bottom of the front page, as well as the entire slate of town meeting members on the back of the ballot. Visit the town clerk's website to view a sample ballot for your district. Of note, there are multiple town meeting openings in every district. If you're interested in running for town meeting as a write-in candidate, please reach out to the town clerk or to the league for more information. Remember that every election is determined by the people who show up. Your vote matters.
To watch the full forum, tune into the NCM Community Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to learn more about an upcoming rec department event and a recap of the NHS student-faculty basketball game. Welcome back. The Rec Department Easter egg hunt is coming up on April 9th. The Rec Department is collecting donations for individually wrapped candy to help make this special event happen. Here's Assistant Superintendent Katie Seastead with how you can help.
Hi Norwood, Katie Seastead here talking about our annual Easter egg hunt. It is being on Saturday, April 9th. We look forward to seeing you, but before then, what we need is your help. That's right, candy donations. As you can imagine, stuffing 7,000 plus eggs takes a lot of candy. So if you'd like to drop off a bag or two by Wednesday, April 6th, we would greatly appreciate it. All the proceeds would go to the Norwood Junior Women's Club. So all the candy that we can get in now is the more money that we can donate to the Norwood Junior Women's Club. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, individually wrapped candy for our Easter egg hunt, drop it off at the Civic Center. Or what we've been seeing is people sending us Amazon packages. It's actually cheaper than the store candy in the store. So once again, we thank you so much for everything that you have done for us. We appreciate your donations. And remember, every dollar we can save by not buying candy goes to the Junior Women's Club, and also everything that they do to the community, they take that money and put it back into us. So thank you so much, Norwood. We look forward to seeing you, and get ready for that Easter egg hunt on April 9th. Registration is now open on MyRec.
Thanks, Katie. Be sure to drop off donations to the Civic Center by April 6th. NHS faculty and students were excited to take the court and participate in a friendly game of basketball after school on Thursday. After a close back-and-forth game, the students came out victorious. NHS history teacher Ty Gonsalves feels the staff brought some intensity to the game.
Don't think that the score reflects the teacher's heart and desire. I thought we brought a great bit of intensity out here, had a big lead, won a little bit of a run in the fourth, the students. I think they just have a little bit more energy, a little bit more stamina. A lot of these kids coming off championship games, so they've had a lot of basketball in them, so I think that cost us in the end. Next year we'll come back. We're going to practice, I think. Coach is going to get us into the gym in a couple mornings to get some shoot around in, so I feel good about that. So my shot will be much better next year. Steve probably shot his worst percentage of the year, but he's always good for at least 30, so next year we're back.
The students, however, were not surprised to walk away with the win and felt that the faculty didn't bring their A game.
We already knew it was going to happen. Yeah.
We expect
not surprised.
Did they put up a good fight?
No. Yeah, they did.
I'll give some credit to Burrow.
Easy prey.
Yeah, it's just that Burrow was talking a lot and couldn't back it up.
Well, what about Coach? Looks like she kept up for a little bit.
Not a shooter. Yeah, she just can't shoot, so we let her shoot. All day.
Would you say they had a secret weapon? I mean, granted, they lost anyway, but would you say there was one that surprised you more than the other?
What's his name?
Mr.
Wallace. Mr. Wallace.
He balled out,
Mr. Wallace.
Miranda too.
He had like 4 points. It's all right.
Anything else you guys want to add in?
Mr. Burrow, Coach Burrow, he said he was going to hit 50 points, but he went probably 4 for 30.
Yeah,
and I think he should retire from basketball completely.
Yep.
Yeah, he's washed.
Congratulations to the students on their win, and I promise you that the faculty is already working on their game. Now we'll toss it over to Dory Theos for the latest in school news.
Hi guys, I'm Dory Theos, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In Norwood High School news, students were inducted into the National Honor Society and the World Language National Honor Society. Congratulations and thank you to advisors Rebecca Newman and Jessica Kaplan. And congratulations to the NHS Drama Troupe, whose production of She Kills Monsters won at the preliminary level and will be going to regionals. They won a number of All-Star Company awards, including Acting Ensemble, Acting, Technical Excellence, and Costume Design. In Coakley Middle School news, last week we featured videos from Ms. Serrata's class in their Project Lead the Way projects. PLTW provides curriculum and training to teachers and administrators to implement curriculum that is project-based. Let's watch a few more.
Hi, I'm Alana.
Hello, I'm Maria, and our project is a piano.
So basically you press each note like a normal piano is, and it's supposed to play
a note. And then our inputs are the pressure sensor, which is in the key. And then our outputs are the buzzer that's going to play the note once you press the key. And Mara, you can press it. It's a bag.
My computer, okay? Does this switch out the microphone itself?
Yeah, basically it.
This is our robot for our final project. If you press the A and B buttons, both its eyes light up. And you can press the back button to turn them off.
The Cleveland school community learned about Holi, also known as the Festival of Colors, last week. Students learned from a group of their classmates from the Hindu festival is a celebration of spring. One of the traditions is throwing colored powder at each other. Let's take a look. Here at Norwood School News, we compile and highlight the activities happening in our schools. The information is from emails and social media. This week, we received a unique email directly from the second graders at the Callahan School in Chelsea Sardoni's music class, and it reads, "We have been learning a folk dance called Sasha. We learned this dance in only 2 classes. This folk dance comes from Ukraine and Eastern Europe and is really fun. We learned that folk dances can be very old and can come from all over the world. We hope you like our performance and we tried our best. We hope that you might be able to put it on Norwood News to share with our Norwood community. Have a great day." From the second graders at the Callahan and Miss Sardoni. We thank the second graders for the email, and by request, here is their video.
Sasha! Sasha! 1, 2, 3. Ba ba ba. Go go go. Ha ha ha. Go go go. Swing. Switch. Sasha! Sasha! 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Go go go. Ha ha ha. Go go go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. New street. The other street. Harder. Right there. Go, Sasha. Sasha. 1, 2, 3.
Many colorful celebrations were happening at the Little Mustangs this week. Classes across all of the Little Mustangs have been learning more about colors, playing color ID games, exploring colorful lenses and glasses, and being scientists to create new colors with primary colors. Classes have also been participating in activities to celebrate the Hindu holiday, Holi. Holi is the festival of colors, love, and spring. Students also use spatulas, potato mashers, and pom-poms to splatter paint to make a colorful craft. Students also used their imagination, pretending that the colorful scarves were the colored powder thrown around for the celebration. Classes read stories, learned about the history, and danced to recognize the holiday. On Monday, March 21st, students and teachers wore mismatched or colorful socks to celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. Colors can be found all around Little Mustangs as we celebrate all our friends, their backgrounds, and their cultures. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's go to Mike Maloof with some sports news.
Hello, and welcome to the sports update this week. Spring sports are underway here at Norwood High School, but we're going to catch up with all that next week, because this week we're going to recap the most successful winter sports season Norwood has ever had. There was not only great team success, but a ton of individual success throughout the whole season. Let's take a look at it all. To open the season, the boys hockey team proved it would be a force in the league by capturing the 2022 Jim Gormley Cup with wins over Plymouth North and Scituate. As December came to a close, both the boys and girls basketball and hockey teams remained undefeated. To start January, the wrestling team hosted their annual Gregory Police match versus Dedham, and it was a pure domination by the Mustangs. They came away with a 54-3 win and brought the trophy home to Norwood. In the pool, the Mustang swimmers and divers hosted Norwell for the annual Nor Cup. It was a back-and-forth meet throughout, and it came down to the very last event as David DiMattia out-touched the Norwell swimmer to secure the cup for the Stangs.
It's going to come down to the touch, I think.
And they both know where each other is, too.
David got it.
I think he got it.
Gymnastics opened their season and had some really close matchups with some of the best teams in the state. Girls hockey continued their winning ways, and none more notable than the 1-0 win in overtime versus Westwood. This propelled the girls to a 10-0 start, and it was the best in program history. To start the month of February, we had some history made on the hill. Senior Megan Obrey scored her 1,000th point in front of a packed gym against Westwood. Megan is only the 5th girl basketball player in Norwood High School history to achieve this mark. The boys basketball continued to run through competition, and as we got into February, they only had 2 losses to their name. They had some very close games highlighted by an OT win against Medfield. In this game, they were down late until Noah Bodette hit a fadeaway 3-pointer to force overtime. In overtime, the Stangs dominated and secured their signature win. As the regular season came to an end, the girls basketball team found themselves in the Comcast Tournament Championship game. At the time, the girls were 19-0 and also facing an undefeated Woburn team. It was a back-and-forth game, and well, let's just take a look at how this game ended. From there, it was off to the postseason, but not before the boys and girls basketball and hockey teams would all capture the TVL League Championship. This was the first time in school history that this would happen. The winter cheer team competed in the TVL Championship and came away with a 3rd place finish. The track team had a great individual results with 4 medalists in the TVL meet and had some great showings in the D3 state meet, led by a 4th place finish by Isaiah Groupie in the 300. Gymnasts Marion Pastor and Shay Larkey were invited to compete in the Mass Gymnastics Coach Individual Meet. They both had very strong performances, and Shay cracked the top 10, finishing number 6th in the state. Wrestling had a very strong season, capped by 2 state sectional champions for the first time in years. Coleman Cady won the 138-pound class, and Nate Sue won the 145-pound class. Both of the boys competed in the All-States as well. In tournament, the girls hockey would end up as a 14 seed and take on a great Malden Catholic squad. It was a close game, but Norwood would fall short 2-1 in overtime. Boys hockey had a great showing, first defeating Westboro 4-1 and then moving on to take on Newburyport. It was an instant classic, with Kevin Broderick scoring late to send the game into overtime, and it took not 1 but 2 overtimes to get the outcome decided in this game.
A minute 24 to go. Here we're in the 2nd overtime period. Smart play. Tolman over. There's the shot and it goes in. Norwood is moving on. And it's Sean Dittmeyer, number 10, who took the feed from George Tolman. And they are going nuts here at the skating club.
Then it was on to Gloucester. And at this point, everyone knows it was an unfortunate circumstance that ended the boys' season. But it was a great season nonetheless. Boys basketball came in as a number 7 seed and opened up the tournament with wins over Fitchburg and Salem. Then it was off to the Elite 8 with a matchup versus number 2 Mansfield. This game would take 2 overtimes to decide, and clutch free throws late would help Norwood move on. They then traveled to Worcester State for the Final Four matchup against Burlington. Much like the previous game, this would also take overtime to find a winner. Norwood hit some huge shots late and came away with a 69-66 win to go to the state finals. In the state finals, they ran into a juggernaut of a Malden Catholic team and fell just short, but they finished the season 2nd place in the state. Girls basketball came into the tourney as a number 1 seed in the state after an undefeated regular season. Wins over Dartmouth and Amherst Pelham would propel them to an Elite 8 matchup against North Quincy. In Norwood's last winter sports home game of the season, the Lady Stangs shined. Sharp shooting across the board would help them defeat North Quincy and move on to the Final Four. In the Final Four, they took on Whitman-Hanson. After a slow start, they found themselves having to battle back, but it was a stellar defensive effort in the 3rd quarter that would help them come away with the 51-46 win. They were off to the state championship to take on Oliver Ames. It was a back-and-forth game, but the girls would eventually fall short, losing 53-48 and finish 2nd in the state. It was a truly unbelievable season for all the Mustang teams, filled with plenty of all-stars, and we had 3 league MVPs, Miles Kidd for hockey, Megan Olbrys for basketball, and Noah Bodette also for basketball. So congratulations to all 3 of you. It wasn't just the high school teams who had success this winter. We had some championships in the youth basketball and youth hockey levels. The junior high school team, also known as the Norwood Beantown Battalion, defeated Mansfield 9-4 to win the B1 Division Championship. The Pee Wee B team defeated Hanover 4-1 in the state championship, and a number of other levels won their regular season and currently competing in the playoffs. In youth basketball, the 10-year-old boys team came away with a victory over Foxborough to win their championship. Needless to say, it was a season for the history books here in Norwood. Congrats to all the teams and the players on all their success. Next week, we're going to jump right into the spring sports season and preview some upcoming games. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. In government, the Capital Outlay Committee opened their Tuesday meeting with a general update, then began discussion on the FY 2023 NPS Technology CIP requests. During the discussion, there were a number of replacements and upgrades as part of the request. The total capital request for FY23 totaled $67,000, and that included $30,000 for replacement network switches, a wireless access point refresh for $14,000, and a firewall refresh for $23,000. The Capital Outlay Committee will meet again in the coming months. Wednesday afternoon, the Airport Commission met with a full agenda. Du Bois & King presented an AIP project update, then the Commission began new business. FAA grant application SF-424, relocation of runway 10 power control assembly, and the MassDOT grant appreciation were all discussed during this time. To end the meeting, the board covered correspondence and entered into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation between Boston Executive Helicopter versus the town of Norwood. The commission will meet again in April. The school committee met at the Savage Center Wednesday evening for the first time since 2020. Vice Chair Anne Marie Mazzola shared a warm welcome back to in-person meeting.
I would just like to say welcome back to meetings. This is my first in-person meeting with all of you in 2 years, and it's fabulous to see everyone's faces. And yeah, just another step in return to what is the new normal for everybody.
Ms. Burgess presented an ELL update to the group. Superintendent Thompson provided the superintendent's report and reviewed a technology presentation and details from the TEC report. He also gave a shout out to the Norwood High School winter athletes and coaches for an unforgettable and historic season.
I want to just say congratulations and thank you. We had an incredible winter season, incredible tournament participation. In fact, I want to say we had more teams and individuals participating in the state meets this year than anyone else. And although, I know that we didn't necessarily get a championship in any of these sports, I have to say that I'm incredibly proud of our students. I was able to go to several of the games. The teamwork that I saw there, the perseverance, grit, dedication, and the sportsmanship. And there's, what, 3 exclamation points on that. These kids represented Norwood extremely well. Even in some difficult circumstances, they showed the character that they are. The coaches, fantastic. I mean, you could just see the relationships amongst each other, between them and their coaches. And it's something that I know that the town is very, very proud of. We will talk about these teams for a long time. There's obviously, putting boys and girls hockey back on the map, putting boys and girls basketball back on the map. When you went to these games, seeing the youth in the stands excited to cheer for their older parts, and again, part of that process of changing and looking at our sports programs, I'm really proud of where we are considering where we were 5 or 6 years ago.
Business manager Karen Sheridan reviewed a thorough presentation regarding the FY23 budget. At the end of her report, she summarized what the upcoming budget will accomplish.
What will we accomplish with this budget? So we'll meet the needs of an increasing diverse student population. Additional attention to educational learning loss and social emotional needs of students through targeted intervention. Increased staffing and assistance for students with disabilities. Increased instructional support for our English language learners. Curriculum refresh for elementary science. The continuation of the one-to-one Chromebooks in grades 6 and 9. Professional development in diversity, equity, inclusion, technology, and instructional practice. Continual of community service with the Metro West Youth Behavioral Service, and the effective use of grants and revolving funds.
The group reviewed policies regarding anti-discrimination practices and field usage rules and voted on relevant changes to the mask regulation. Member David Hiltz presented the new school committee member handbook to the board, and it was approved just in time for the upcoming town election. Before adjournment, the group voted to approve a new food services contract and contracts for 4 NPS administration leaders. The school committee will meet again next Wednesday at the Savage Center. Stay tuned after this break to learn about a recent outdoor dining forum and some upcoming events. Welcome back. As the state legislature further discusses a bill that could extend the outdoor dining law through 2023, the town of Norwood is doing its best to prepare itself for the summer of 2022. Wednesday night, residents and business owners met at the Senior Center for an outdoor dining forum. This forum was hosted by the town to get input on the positives and negatives about the town's current outdoor dining. There were suggestions made and concerns were heard on the current setup of outdoor dining in Norwood. To watch the forum, tune into the NCM community channel or find it on demand on our website. The Norwood Evening Garden Club is thrilled to announce the return of Art in Bloom. The Morrow Memorial Library will be hosting this annual event on Saturday, April 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, April 3rd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Students from Norwood and Walpole High Schools will feature their artwork, along with floral designs by Norwood Evening Garden Club members. This event is free and open to the public. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.